I sumo wrestled the largest Japanese man in recorded history, and I almost threw up and passed out in the process of doing so. Look, if you guys are new to my channel, then you know that I'm not a stranger to a challenge here or there. I've invented Healy tricks, I've eaten Cheerios with dish soap, and I've learned how to fight like an action star. I've done it all. I'm an influencer. I'm not afraid of anything except for accountability. Okay? So when my buddy Jacob hits me up about sumo wrestling the largest Japanese man in recorded history, I'm gonna say yes. If you don't know about the channel Offcanny, it's basically two guys, Jacob and Trevor, attempting to do professions that they have no qualifications to try in the first place, such as having girlfriends. So the day of this sumo wrestling extravaganza arrives, and me and Jacob show up to this martial arts studio ready to sumo. We meet Andrew, who I believe owns the martial arts studio, and he introduces us to the man of the hour, and I'm gonna fuck up this name, Yamamoto Yama. Yamamoto Yama Ryuta.
Here's my friend Yama over here. Yama. He's the heaviest Japanese human being in recorded history.
Oh my God. Or just Yama for short, or Yam Yam. I like to call him Yam Yam. People who are really close with him, we like to call him Yam Yam. That's a lie. I don't call him that. I didn't realize this when I first met him, but apparently Yama is a really big deal in the sumo wrestling community, partly because he's just so large. I'm about 200 pounds. Now take 3 of me, because Yama almost weighs 600 pounds. Also, he was in the John Wick franchise, which makes him the second person that I've been in a YouTube video with that was involved in the John Wick franchise. So Keanu Reeves, you luscious man, you know where to find me. We exchanged kind introductions with Yama, along with learning that the guy's a fan of the Whopper.
Do you like the Whopper from Burger King?
Burger King no Whopper, excuse me.
Yeah.
Then we got to putting on the sumo belts. Putting on these sumo belts was a very strange process. They were wrapping us up tight in those things, like a Christmas present for an impatient child.
We're done, squad. Oh.
Oh. Hey man, that thing is tight on your nuts. It's hugging them for dear life. It was hugging my nuts like it was a soldier about to get drafted into war. And the belt was my pregnant wife, Angela. And it makes sense, honestly, because I'm pretty sure in normal sumo wrestling, that's the only thing that they're wearing. There's a lot of trust in that relationship. After that, we moved on to the stretches that sumo wrestlers do when they're warming up every day. These were a lot harder than I thought they'd be. And maybe a third of the way into doing them, I was already sore. Things got much worse from there. One of the stretches they were teaching us to do was when you were sitting with your legs out and you lean all the way forward. And you see Yama doing it and you think to yourself, oh, that seems like a piece of cake. That seems like a piece of strawberry shortcake ice cream. No problem, my guy. Wrong. You are wrong. You're sitting there in your chair or on your bed or on your couch and you're wrong and you should feel ashamed. What I did not expect to happen was for Yama to come up behind me and start pushing me further into the stretch. Oh. Up until this point, I wasn't lying about my flexibility. It's not like I'm this closeted contortionist that's just hiding his incredible flexibility like some sort of circus-themed Clark Kent. I'm doing the best I can. Nevertheless, I was getting pushed into this stretch and it was getting very painful, very fast. Just take a look at this clip here.
Oh my goodness.
Now I'm gonna be completely clear with you guys, all right? As clear as a freshwater lake in Norway. I'm gonna be crystal. I'm gonna keep it $1.50 with y'all. This was probably the most pain that I had experienced in probably the last 2 to 3 years. The last time I can remember I was in this much pain was when a metal door swung onto my ring finger right on the nail. And I honestly couldn't tell you which one was worse. I felt like a piece of chewing gum where you take it out of your mouth and you stretch it until it almost snaps. Except that I'm not a piece of chewing gum. I'm a human and I'm pretty sure we have rights. Here's the kicker though. I might be in an immense amount of pain, but I'm not gonna just start screaming stop. I'm an entertainer. And unfortunately, in this situation, the show must go on. I don't wanna ruin this video for Jacob. I gotta keep the funny juices flowing. I'm not turning off the funny juice valve. It's gotta flow. So this is exclusive footage that contains a combination of me being in an intense amount of pain while also trying to play it off as being not that bad. After that, I was told by Andrew that I should be lucky that it was that tame.
Ted, you're a very fortunate guy because in pro sumo, if you joined and you were like this and you couldn't do it, they would have a guy his size actually like get on top of you on your back and rip your tendons so that you could be in that position, and you'd spend weeks or months like healing up your tendons.
Oh, Thank God that Yama, the largest Japanese man in recorded history, didn't get on top of me and snap my ligaments so I was bedridden for 4 months just praying that I could walk again. What a joy! Cheers. Cheers, everyone. No snapped ligaments. A lucky day. So the first stage of the actual sumo wrestling, we did some initial sparring against Andrew. Jacob went first, and I personally think that he did all right. And then I went next, and I was surprised to hear from Andrew and Yama that I actually did pretty well.
Nice, 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 nice.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so you did really well. He said that was amazing. No offense, but wow, you brought a ringer here.
I don't know what allows me to be generally good at physical things because I don't really go to the gym and I haven't played a sport since 2014. I think it's partly because how my body's built. You know, I got leverage everywhere. But even though I did well, I for sure made my first mistake in these initial sparring sessions because I went way too hard. And after them, I was already exhausted, which was the beginning of the problems that I began to run into. So I began to do some sparring with Jacob, but every so often there would be some sort of technicality right at the end of the match where they can't tell who won, and we'd have to do the match again. And keep in mind, after every new match we do, I was getting increasingly more exhausted. I started feeling dizzy. If any of you guys have done a sport growing up, you may have experienced this type of dizziness, such as if you ever played basketball and somebody on your team was being a fuck ass and then the coach made you guys do suicides. That's the name of the exercise. They're called suicides, which is quite literally sprinting back and forth across the court for like 10 minutes, maybe 15. Depends on how mad the coach is. So I'm dizzy. I'm feeling like a piece of shit, but the show must go on. So after the occasional 5 to 10 minute breaks and slugging down water bottles, I just kept getting up and doing it. And part of the reason for this is because Andrew and Yama just kept hyping me up.
Oh, it's nice. I'm so impressed. Very few guys have the attack, the balance, the sense that Ted does. Seriously, I'm not even, I had to really, I've been doing it for many years, and I had to really be careful. He almost had me a couple times. Yama said, if you practice with us here for 3 months, we're only practicing on the weekend. 3 months, you're gonna be really strong. You might have a chance of becoming the next champion.
Yes.
Hey.
So now I'm like, fuck. I gotta live up to this prophecy of me being the next great American sumo wrestler. I felt like I was gonna let the sumo community down, and I've only been a part of it for like an hour. So I did my final technical rematch with Jacob, and I won. I won the match. Easy. I can rest for a second. No, because Jacob had won one as well, so we had to do a final match to determine who the true sumo wrestler was. And at that point, I just had to sit down. My vision was getting blurry. The fear of actually throwing up was becoming quite real.
I feel like I'm gonna pass out right now. Oh. Maybe even throw up. Yummy.
And I'm just sitting there thinking, this is the video that I get to do with Offcanny. Schlatt did a video with Offcanny, and he got to quite literally dress up as a king and shoot people with an airsoft gun. And here I am rolling around in a musty martial arts studio looking quite similar to Violet Beauregard from fucking Willy Wonka, except dessert this time was not a blueberry pie, it was a raspberry pie. And I don't think that people who saw this video realized what sort of state I was in, because I'm scrolling through TikTok the other day and I find this. There are these crazily edited fan cams, but what they don't realize is that in these shots, I'm at the end of my fucking rope, man. I'm like about to pass out. And they're making TikToks with a SpongeBob clip where a character is saying, handsome. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I got nothing against fan cams, but of all of the moments that you could choose, truly chose me at my lowest. Finally, ladies and germs, we got to the end of the experience where we had an opportunity to sumo wrestle with Yama himself. Jacob had already gone and he got himself like thrown in the air, and now it was my turn to go up against the final boss. I pulled together all of my strength that I had left for my final match with Yama because I was like, I'm here, I'm already dead, and this is probably the only opportunity I'm gonna have to do something like this. I looked to the bathroom, thinking of the possibility of me throwing up literally everything in my stomach. It was kind of like that one scene in Avengers Endgame when Iron Man was looking at Doctor Strange, wondering if this was the timeline they beat Thanos. This is the one timeline. This is the one timeline that I would not throw up. So I went into it.
Holy crap, you're a reasonably large human being.
It was like pushing a boulder. I could barely move this man. I felt like a third grader getting the shit kicked out of me by sixth graders for lunch money. There was no chance. So obviously I lost. But at the end of it all, the prophecy did not end because I got the greatest hype up from Andrew and Yama.
He said you're really powerful.
Thank you.
Both of you really practice seriously. You probably could each be US champions.
Wow.
If YouTube doesn't work out, guys, I'm going into sumo wrestling. As tired and miserable as I was, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was a very, very fun video to do. It came out excellent, so if you want to see the full video, you should absolutely check out the Offcanny channel. And I thought it'd be cool to tell you guys my firsthand experience of what that was like. All right. That's it. Before I let you guys go, I gotta talk about today's sponsor for this video, which is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community that gives you access to thousands of classes for creative or just plain curious people where you can explore new skills or just develop your existing interests. For instance, if you haven't already noticed, I've been trying to post more YouTube videos more frequently. This is in fact my job, and I've been trying to take the opportunity I have here a little bit more seriously. So with that in mind, I chose to check out the class Productivity for Creatives, Build a System That Brings Out Your Best with teacher Thomas Frank. And I've genuinely been enjoying it. I know that this is a sponsor, but this is me off the books saying that this has actually been helpful for me. This class in particular helped me sort of try to reorganize my relationship with being a creative, such as actually having a schedule for the first time in my damn life. The entire platform is curated specifically for the purpose of learning, so there's no freaking ads, and they're always releasing new classes. When you join Skillshare, you can try one of their live classes, and through that, experience real-time inspiration as you watch and work alongside other members. The first 1,000 of you guys to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can start exploring your creativity today. Hey, thanks for watching the sponsored part. Appreciate ya. All right, thanks for coming by. Appreciate hanging out with you parasocially.